Randy Orton's injury has been so severe that it will be a career-ending injury. Also, we've heard from numerous reports since he vanished from our screens on May 20th, 2022. That said, the noises coming out of WWE at the moment are much more positive and much more suggestive that we could see the Viper striking once again on our WWE screens, maybe in a new guise, but certainly under a main event level push that will include future World Championship reigns via Triple H. We have an update for you today on the return schedule of Randy Orton, how he is likely to be used, where he is in his overall recovery, and his future with the company. So be sure to stay tuned. Randy Orton has not been on WWE TV since May 20th after being injured by the Bloodline in advance of what would have been a main event level match at Summerslam against Roman Reigns. He would have been competing for both championships but would not have been winning either of them. Shortly afterwards, it was announced by a number of different sources, Fightful I believe was the first ones to report it, that Randy Orton had suffered a serious back injury. The Wrestling Observer followed up stating that this could be an absolute career ender and that we would not see Randy Orton again. Everything I've heard details that Randy Orton has been determined not to be beaten. As regards several spoiler warning shows, I've made it clear Randy Orton wants to wrestle again, he intends to wrestle again, and by sounds of it, he's going to wrestle again. He's recovering extremely well from his back injury. He has been undergoing serious and intense physio, but he is actively exceeding expectations. It's starting to feel like Randy Orton and John Cena are connected by a lot of different things, because while John Cena is Superman, he's Robocop, he's absolutely unbreakable, here comes Randy Orton proving that he is exactly not far behind himself. From what I can tell and what I've been told, Randy Orton intends to return and has already started working out with that as a goal. That said, of course, for a back injury, he's having to be very, very careful not to re-aggravate. He is not cleared at this point in time. I need to make that very, very obvious at this point. Randy Orton is not going to be appearing on your TV screens for Elimination Chamber. He's not going to be appearing on your TV screens for WrestleMania, at least in a wrestling capacity. There are a number of people likely to make returns beforehand, including, for example, Big E, Matt Riddle, who will likely be returning to the tag team of RK Bro with Randy Orton. That's something Orton is interested in. After all, he needs his pain meds, and Matt Riddle knows where to get the best pain meds, shall we say. Randy Orton has clearly said that himself in interviews in the past. So Randy Orton is not currently cleared. However, he is working hard and working intensely and is confident that he will be returning to in-ring action. His doctors apparently are agreeing with that. We will see Randy Orton in a WWE ring again in 2023. Now, as I say, he is looking for a return to RK Bro. The tag divisions at the moment kind of need that, and I do feel that RK Bro would be a great foil for newly crowned face champions after WrestleMania, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, though of course I do feel they will hold the championships until at least SummerSlam, so we have time. We are, after all, 9 months away, or 9 months onwards, from Randy Orton's injury and disappearance. Interestingly, Randy Orton has been reaching out to a number of different gear designers looking for a change in the aesthetic that he is likely to be presenting. A large part of that will be a certain amount of support, for example, around the lower back area, which will allow him to compete with a little bit more comfort. There is also discussions from different sources, primarily boot manufacturers, who are saying that they've been contacted by Randy Orton. They are not alone. There are a number of different designers who've been contacted for a different design and different style Randy Orton Viper. There is also talks already from both creative, Triple H, even Vince McMahon, that Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes will be one hell of a money spinner and could well provide the protection that Randy Orton requires, very similar to the return in 2022 of Shawn Michaels when he wanted to wrestle Triple H to ensure that he had adequate protection on his return. As is, those two went to an absolute war. It was a bloodbath. It was absolute carnage. And afterwards, Shawn Michaels was pretty convinced he could just keep going. Yeah, he was absolutely fine with that. I can confirm that Randy Orton will not wrestle before WrestleMania. He is very unlikely to wrestle before SummerSlam, but he could return to an on-screen role after WrestleMania. After all, the back injury, not the same as a head or neck injury, which kept out, for example, Daniel Bryan, Paige, Edge for so long. With the back injury, basically, as long as you're not facing Brock Lesnar, you'll be absolutely fine. When it comes to use of Randy Orton, with Triple H in charge, Randy Orton, as we know, is a clear favourite. Randy Orton is also very close to the joint record for World Championships held by both Ric Flair and John Cena, and while Charlotte Flair seems likely to overtake that first, Randy Orton with a few more World Championships will do so, and Triple H certainly has that on his mind. This may be why we're hearing suggestions of an Orton versus Cody Rhodes feud, though that could be as far away as next year's WrestleMania. In summary, Randy Orton is recovering well from his supposed career-threatening injury. He is undergoing intense physio to try and get back to in-ring fitness. He is not cleared. He will definitely not wrestle before Mania. He is very unlikely to wrestle before SummerSlam, but he is confident, he is determined, and he will make things happen. There will be more updates as they come. Be sure to hit subscribe, and thanks very much for watching.